Take a look at this traditional religious icon painting. You recognize the subject instantly. With pale skin, long flowing brown hair, and a delicate bone structure, Jesus of Nazareth is the most universally recognized visual representation of any figure in human history. However, this classical European depiction of the crucifixion is an artistic invention. The image you know is the result of centuries of European, Byzantine, and Roman biases, where artists projected their own regional features backward onto a Middle Eastern subject. We have a massive historical vacuum to contend with. Despite his global fame and the thousands of pages written about his life, there is not a single passing physical description of him in the entire text of the Bible. To solve this specific problem, a modern team of scientists and historians has taken a completely different approach. They are abandoning art history entirely and relying instead on the strict discipline of forensic anthropology. Finding the historical visage requires us to strip away 2 millennia of cultural myth and rebuild a human face from scratch using hard, verifiable data. Because a specific, confirmed skull is entirely unavailable, researchers start their physical timeline at this active archaeological excavation site in Jerusalem. Here, they pull from a sample size of well-preserved skulls belonging to first-century Judean men from the immediate area. This is a computerized tomography, or CT scan, of a skull. Scientists take the physical dimensions from the Jerusalem samples and use 3D modeling to merge them together, generating an average composite skull that represents the typical biological frame of a man from that exact era. With the digital model established, anthropologists identify critical anchor points across the jawline, the cheekbones, and the cranium. These points tell the team exactly where specific muscle groups and tissue data must be mapped. This relies on a core scientific concept known as tissue depth markers. These are tiny, measured pegs placed strategically across the 3D model, allowing scientists to calculate the exact mathematical thickness of muscle, fat, and skin required for a specific demographic. Here, you can see the precise, hands-on process. Forensic experts meticulously apply physical clay over these depth markers, layer by layer, matching the exact demographic profile built from the Jerusalem bone data. The biological result yields a facial foundation that is significantly broader, thicker, and far more robust than the delicate, narrow features consistently depicted in classical religious art. But bone structure has severe limitations. A composite skull cannot tell scientists anything about a subject's hair texture, eye color, or daily grooming habits. Forensic biology successfully builds the physical frame. Now we have to pivot to archaeological artifacts to color in the external human details. The investigation moves out of the laboratory and back into ancient ruins to deduce how a first-century working-class man actually maintained his appearance. This ancient wall fresco from a regional synagogue serves as primary evidence. Artifacts like this established the baseline for typical hair and clothing styles worn by the local Judean population at the time. Furthermore, this silver ancient coin features a profiled head with notably short hair. Cross-referencing Judean art with Roman artifacts confirms that long, flowing hair was actually culturally scoffed at. The historical subject would have kept his hair short and tightly curled alongside a trimmed beard. This forensic document details the skeletal analysis of human remains from the region. By studying joint wear and tear and isotopic data within the bones, anthropologists can determine exactly what kind of physical strain and diet these individuals endured. The isotopic data points directly to a harsh, outdoor agricultural lifestyle. Working under the Middle Eastern sun every day guarantees a deeply tanned, heavily weathered face with naturally olive skin. Scientists take all of these historical, external features, the short curly hair, the trimmed beard, the dark skin tone, and carefully integrate them over the previously established biological clay model. The pale, soft stag we have been conditioned to expect falls away completely under the weight of hard archaeological evidence. Look at this final, scientifically generated image. The resulting face features dark olive skin, a broad nose, short curly hair, and a weathered complexion. The visual contrast is immediate and striking. It bears absolutely no resemblance to the westernized icon painted by European masters. It is crucial to note that this is not a photograph of the exact individual. Instead, it is a highly accurate, data-driven portrait of a typical man from his specific demographic and time period. This image restores the historical figure to his true reality. It reveals a marginalized, working-class Judean living a strenuous life under Roman occupation, rather than an imperial European figurehead. When we ignore the art and use forensic science to look back in time, we find that the true face of history is often far more fascinating than the myths we created to replace it.